Walter Collins, the 9-year-old who vanished in 1928 after his mom sent him to the movies with some cash. The cops searched, but he was nowhere to be found. Then, 5 months later, a kid in Illinois said he was Walter. But his mom, Christine, said he wasn't. Why'd the police insist he was? And why did Christine end up in a mental hospital for saying otherwise? Let's delve into this chilling tale of loss and confusion. In March 1928, Walter Collins disappeared while walking to a movie theater in Lincoln Heights. His vanishing was part of a series of similar cases in the area since 1926. Just a month before Walter went missing, a child's headless body was discovered in La Puente nearby. Then, 2 months later, brothers Nelson and Louis Winslow disappeared from the Pomona neighborhood. At the time, the police in the city were facing criticism because of some corruption scandals, and they were embarrassed when they couldn't find Walter quickly. They didn't have much information to work with. Walter's father, who was in Folsom State Prison, suspected that a former inmate might have kidnapped his son to get back at him because he reported violations in the cafeteria. According to the Crime Museum, a gas station worker in Glendale said he saw a couple, possibly not from the area, with a dead boy in their car. He thought the child might be Walter after he saw a photo of him. But these leads didn't really help the detectives, and Walter's case stayed unsolved for several months. Then, in August 1928, a boy claiming to be Walter Collins showed up in Illinois, causing a big stir and a scandal with the police. Christine Collins went through 5 tough months without knowing what happened to her son. Then, unexpectedly, there was a chance of hope from far away in DeKalb, Illinois. The police found a boy there who said he was Walter Collins. They sent pictures of the boy to Christine, hoping she would recognize him. But Christine wasn't sure. Even though the police tried to convince her, she agreed to bring the boy to Los Angeles to see if he was her son. But after 3 weeks of having the boy with her, Christine was sure he wasn't Walter. She went back to the police station with dental records and statements from people who knew Walter well. She was determined to prove that the boy from Illinois was pretending to be her son, and she didn't want anything to do with him anymore. When Christine Collins insisted that the boy from Illinois wasn't her son, the officers didn't believe her. Instead, they called her names like lunatic and accused her of trying to make them look bad. They even said she was just trying to avoid her responsibilities as a mother. To get rid of her and silence her protests, they used a policy called Code 12, which let them send away citizens they found troublesome. So they forced Christine into a psychiatric facility where she had to stay against her will. While Christine was in the psychiatric facility, the truth came out. The boy claiming to be Walter finally confessed that he wasn't really him. His name was Arthur Hutchins, and he was actually 12 years old, not 9 like Walter. Arthur had heard about Walter's disappearance and how he resembled him. He saw a chance to go to Hollywood and meet his cowboy hero, Tom Mix. So he decided to pretend to be Walter as long as he could. But when experts compared his handwriting to Walter's, it became clear that he was lying. As the truth about Arthur's impersonation was unfolding, another shocking discovery emerged. Police found out about a man named Gordon Stewart Northcott, who had been kidnapping and killing young boys on a ranch located 50 miles outside Los Angeles. There was a chilling possibility that Walter Collins might have been one of Northcott's victims. This revelation added another layer of horror to the already tragic situation surrounding Walter's disappearance. The investigation into Northcott's crimes shed light on the dark and dangerous reality lurking just beyond the city's borders. As the truth about Arthur pretending to be Walter was starting to come out, another horrifying revelation came to light. The police uncovered information about a man named Gordon Stewart Northcott. He had been snatching young boys on a ranch about 50 miles away from Los Angeles. This news brought a sense of dread because there was a possibility that Walter Collins could have been one of Northcott's victims. This added even more sorrow to the already heartbreaking situation surrounding Walter's disappearance.
Gordon Stewart Northcott was convicted of murdering 3 of his victims. In Sanford Clark, the survivors said that there were at least 20 victims. At first, Sanford wasn't even believed until they started digging around in the chicken coops and coming up with human remains.
The investigation into Northcott's crimes revealed the sinister and risky world that existed just outside the city's limits. It showed how danger could be lurking nearby, even in seemingly peaceful rural areas. Investigators discovered scattered bone fragments belonging to young males on the ranch, alongside axes stained with blood and human hair. Northcott reportedly verbally confessed to killing 5 boys, including Walter Collins and the Winslow brothers, who vanished shortly before him. He admitted to kidnapping boys for rape, murdering them out of boredom, and disposing of their remains with quicklime. Northcott confessed to committing horrendous acts alongside his mother, Sarah, alleging they were partners in these heinous crimes, including an alleged incestuous relationship between them. However, when confronted with the task of formalizing his admissions, Northcott backtracked, claiming responsibility for only one death, that of Alvin Garcia, a Mexican boy, in February of 1928. This admission left the fate of Walter Collins, who had no tangible connection to the ranch, shrouded in uncertainty. Despite the lack of concrete evidence linking him to the ranch, the question of what became of Walter remained unanswered. Yet, the narrative took another turn when Sarah Northcott emerged with her own narrative, adding another layer of complexity to the already chilling saga. After much speculation and uncertainty, Sarah Louise Northcott eventually admitted to the grim truth about Walter Collins. She confessed that she was the one who took his life, striking him fatally with an axe before burying him near the chicken coop. Her confession led to a life sentence for his murder, shedding light on the dark mystery surrounding his disappearance. Meanwhile, Gordon Stewart Northcott faced justice for his own crimes. In February 1929, he was found guilty of the murders of the Winslow brothers and another unnamed victim. His punishment was severe, death by hanging, which was carried out on October 2, 1930. With his execution, any hope of uncovering further details about Walter Collins's fate may have vanished, leaving behind unanswered questions and a haunting legacy of tragedy and horror. To this day, the fate of Walter Collins remains a haunting mystery. Despite Sarah Northcott's conviction for his murder, authorities never discovered any concrete evidence indicating that Walter had ever set foot on the ranch. Some speculate that he might have been snatched by one of his father's foes from prison, or perhaps he was taken away by a foreign couple. It's also conceivable that his remains were concealed with quicklime on Gordon Stewart Northcott's property, never to be uncovered. Alternatively, some entertain the possibility that Walter wasn't killed at all. Whatever the truth may be, the enigmatic tale of Walter Collins continues to perplex people, leaving them with more questions than answers.
Gordon Stewart Northcott was found guilty very quickly here at the historic Riverside County Courthouse. He was convicted on 3 of the 4 definite murders that occurred at the Wineville Ranch. He was sentenced to death. At San Quentin, Northcott became one of the last criminals to hang in California before it was outlawed in the mid-30s. Today, Northcott's Wineville house still stands, but the town changed its name from Wineville to Miraloma because of the chicken coop murder stigma. Noemi Alvarado's lived on the Northcott property for 20 years.
I've never, in my whole life, living here, never a feeling, oh, what's that?
Noemi says her mother raised chickens here on this property for years. Hundreds of them roamed all over this area. But she says the entire time she had no idea of the horrific crimes that happened inside the chicken coops nearly 80 years ago. Noemi's family chicken coop still sits on their property.
I'll probably live here as long as I could because I love this house.
But like just about everyone who finds out about the case, she agrees the Wineville Chicken Coop murders amount to one of the most despicable crimes ever in Riverside County. Kira Coyle, KMIR 6 News.